By gum, Captain! All the latest home videos in beta and VHS!
Aye, so current, they're still in theatrical release.
Help yourself, mates. A chest full of video discs.
No!
What good are they?
Can't record on them.
They're not compatible with my system.
Captain, this was locked.
Stand back.
Open that up.
Gather around me, buckos, and feast your eyes on this. Make all the illegal copies you want. Put it on.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh, I'm so scared.
From Hollywood, from Las Vegas, from New York City, and this week, all the way from Mayberry, North Carolina, it's the Merv Griffith Show. Join us as Helen Crum decides to have a surprise birthday party for Gomer Pyle.
Thelma Lou expects me to ask her, but I already mentioned the party to Juanita over at the diner.
Uh-oh, 2 dates.
Merv, you gotta help me. You gotta ask Juanita so's I could take Thelma Lou to the party.
But Barney, it's Helen's party, and Helen's my girl.
I know something I won't tell. I won't tell. I won't tell. I know something I won't.
What do you know, huh?
It's just that Injun Joe is ticklish.
Is he singing English or Russian?
In English. Come on, Berserker. Girls think sexy. I'll watch. Wait, he's gonna sing and watch. It's too funny.
My love for you is like a truck berserker. Would you like some making fuck berserker?
That's fucking funny, man.
Did he say making fuck?
I'm going to do a scene from the movie Raging Bull. You fucked my wife? What? You fucked my wife? How can you ask me a question like that? How can you ask me? I'm your brother and you ask me that? Where do you get the balls big enough to ask me that?
Eat.
Dusty, go on over to that piano.
Oh, no.
No.
I haven't played in so long.
I couldn't hear you.
Been a long time. All right. We're going to do a little number for you, but remember, we're a bit rusty, so bear with us. Just like the old days.
All right. Maestro?
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile. Dear little buttercup, won't you stay a while? Come with me where moonbeams paint the sky, and you and I might linger in the sweet by and by. Oh, dear little buttercup, with your eyes so blue. Oh, little buttercup, you're a dream come true. You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two. Dear little buttercup, I love you. Everybody! My little buttercup has the sweetest...
It's my ear.
Great. Dear little buttercup, won't you stay out?
Quiet.
You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two. Dear little buttercup, sweet little buttercup, my little buttercup, I love you.
Your underwear can kill you, say top researchers.
It's true. People will put on extra weight and they'll buy clothes bigger than them. But they won't do that for underwear. And as a result, the blood gets trapped in their tush area and they die.
The question on everyone's lips is why? How could this be happening? Recent victims include local favorites, the Hutchinson brothers.
My brother is dead. He broke his neck and then he drowned. Why? I mean, 1 minute we're laughing, and the next minute he's dead. Why would God let this happen?
Smart-ass ex-boyfriend. You know who I am?
A deeply full retail manager.
Renee is with me now. Okay? You got that? So don't be sniffing around her anymore like you try to do that. Shit.
There goes the loan.
Listen to me. I got two things to tell you. All right? One, I don't like you. You see you every week in this mall. I don't like shiftless layabouts. You're one of these fucking loser mall rat kids. You don't come down here to work or shop. You hang out all day. Act like you fucking live here. Well, I have no respect for people with no shopping agenda.
Is this what's known as motivated salesmanship?
Dan Clowes! I really identified with the girls in Ghost World. They made me feel like I wasn't so alone.
Yeah, whatever. Do you know anyone who works at Batman? 'Cause I really want to draw Batman. I'm awesome at utility belts. Check these out. This is where the Batman keeps his money, in case he has to take the bus. Sure, why not?
Do you sell gum?
Yeah, it's over there. It's okay. Don't worry, we'll clean it up.
Yipes. Just yipes.
Yeah. Do you think they're cognizant of how bad they got it?
Let's hope not, poor bastards.
Dude, you don't have to be ashamed or anything.
But I'm not a fudge packer.
Then why are you packing fudge?
I'm not. I'm a very busy actor. I'm just here trying to get away for a weekend and do some fly fishing.
Dude, you are in a fudge factory packing fudge.
Oh, that does it. I will sue you.
For what?
You can't just call somebody a fudge packer and get away with it. Hey, is that fudge packer Tom Cruise?
Let's get back
Right,
to
so these punks,
Yes.
I don't know if they wanted money or they wanted something more sexual.
Wow.
But it's a lucky thing I had my pieces.
Your pieces.
My guns.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang!
Wow.
Bang! Well, I don't see so good, so I missed. Then they ran away. I ran after them.
Okay.
Bang! Try to shoot them in the back. But I don't run so good either. Anyway,
You guys all think I'm a hero, and I'll accept that responsibility.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with Hacha. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents number 217 consecutive Tuesdays. We have gotten together at 8 o'clock in the evening, live, for your enjoyment. We're going to talk about comics that are coming out tomorrow, comics that were pretty good last week, at least in sales, in the store. In fact, if you don't know...
My name is Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's right. Let me take that down. Oh my goodness. I have to change the brand. Hold on one second while I do something I don't normally do. Boom. Responsible vendor. Yule. That's me, Yule Carter. Thank you, Wes. I appreciate it. Any day you want to come on in, Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m., I sell comic books. I sell graphic novels, trade paperbacks, sometimes some posters, and a few other things like magic cards, but it's not in great quantity. I don't want to buy any, okay? Maybe your comic books. And if you're interested in back issues, maybe I can hook you up with that. Come on in. You can always give us a call, email. It's contact at fantasticcomics.net. And that's about all you need to know about that. We talk about on this show things that happen in the store or things that I hear about as a comic book retailer or just what it's like being a comic book retailer and what my customers, have to say. Sometimes I get in conversations on the internet with people, and I think we'll talk about that just a little bit today. But first, we want to talk about the fastest. I'm sorry, I cracked myself up without even saying anything. This is the fastest wrestling conversation in all of comic book talk. That's right. We want to talk about some wrestling that happened over the course of the weekend, of the week. And, we like to talk about wrestling. We talk about comics in the store. Sometimes there's politics. I don't usually do the politics. Maybe a snide remark or something like that. Play a clip. But I want to keep it mostly to comic books. But, wrestling is in comic books. Maybe more than most people think. And, we could talk about that in a longer show in another day. If you think that's something we could have happen, let's get some thumbs up so I can, let me choose my words correctly, coerce somebody to coming on. Oh my goodness, you got 200 likes on a video? So just go ahead and like it right now so that we can get a famous person. Maybe it will work. We're going to talk about WrestleMania. It was a 2-night extravaganza. And we're going to go over this really, really quick because, the one thing that happened the week before that I thought was important, unlike comic books.
Because right now, professional wrestling is cool.
That's right. WWE is kicking ass. They have consistent sellouts leading up to WrestleMania. Going out of it, it's going to be a big deal. They have hot shows all over the place and storylines that are continuing. Yada, yada, yada. WrestleMania 40. First up, we had Drew McIntyre coming out with bagpipes playing. And dudes and developmental dudes holding swords. And then Seth Rollins came out and he had some Philadelphia Mummer Society and he came out looking all freakish like he does. Gotta love that. Unfortunately, that's the best Seth Rollins looked as he lost to Drew McIntyre. There's Drew. He's like, come on, just give that thing to me. And then he's like, yeah, I got it. Unfortunately, there were some shenanigans and the briefcase, the Money in the Bank briefcase was cashed in on him. The next night, Rhea Ripley defends against Becky. And so the Judgment Day are main event champions still. So you're like, wait, there's another belt on the women's show on the show, and that's over on SmackDown. And Bayley defeated her longtime friend Io Sky, and there you go. Damage Control broken. Let's see what else we had. Oh yeah, Sami Zayn one. This was very emotional for me. I mean, I was tired and waking up and kind of trying to stay awake for this freaking long ass show. But when he was going up against Gunther. Sami Zayn's a real good face as far as taking an ass whooping. And he did a really great job. He deserved it. And I think there's good things as long as everything is, everything was like all about this new era that's going on in wrestling. And they're saying like, fuck Vince McMahon, he's out. This is Triple H's era, Paul Levesque. It's still Logan Paul era though, and he defeated Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in the 3-way, getting the pinfall on Kevin Owens. Yeah, you gotta love a heel. Speaking of those tag belts that Judgment Day doesn't have anymore, it's because Theory and Waller, A-Town down, because one of them is Australian. They got the SmackDown belts, and over on Raw, the Awesome Truth. Oh my goodness, there's more of this to come. Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns. It was very emotional. Dudes picked him up afterwards. Dudes got involved to make sure that the bloodline didn't get, didn't help Roman Reigns. John Cena came out. Undertaker came out. It was crazy. Next night on Raw. Something I never thought I'd see. John Cena and The Miz hugging in a wrestling ring because they tagged with, John Cena tagged with the Awesome Truth to go up against Judgment Day. Judgment Day not looking good right now. And look at that, John Cena. He's like, you can't see my bald spot right now. I'm going to talk. There was a match later on. 4-way to determine, I guess, who's going to be going up against somebody. One of the main event things. And there was a big spot that happened, and it was CM Punk he was helping defeat McIntyre once again, and this time by holding his leg when he was gonna kick dude in the face. And I just love CM Punk's look when he's doing this. So great. Let's see. Look at that. He's just like really getting holding that dude's, he's really selling it. It's great. Anyway, Jey Uso comes in, beats him up, and does a big old splash. It was cool looking. He got the 1, 2, 3. There's that great shot for all y'all at home. And CM Punk looking on. You can see what's going to be going on. Excellent. And one more thing. Tony Khan is going to be airing the footage at All In that is backstage, and this is in response basically to CM Punk talking about choking out Jack Perry backstage just before the show was going to really officially start. CM Punk said this on Ariel Helwani's show.
When you saw that version of the story being put out, what is your reaction?
I mean, I can't tell you what Tony felt or what he was thinking, but I never did anything that would make him fear for his life. But he's who he is.
I think this is going to be one of their highest rated segments on the show, and he doesn't have this wrestler anymore. Just crazy. And I can't even imagine what's going to be on that tape that's going to be so bad that it's just all you're going to do is solidify, CM Punk being great or bad in everybody's minds, however you lean. The only thing you can do is try to hope to win somebody that doesn't know about what's going on or is ambivalent about what's going on. And I think you're really, I can't imagine why it would matter. You know what I mean? That's your Wrestling Minute. All right, we're going to talk about, hell no, is there a malaise right now? I've been noticing people talking on social media about, this is primarily comic book related and on X. And I know a lot of people talk smack about X for various reasons, and I'm sure most of them are founded. Let's just say it's 50-50 though, okay? Just to be normal right now. Whatever normal is. But within the people that I see talking, there's a lot of people that aren't talking right now. And the ones that are I got to get off for a while. Things kind of suck right now. I've never been so upset and disgusted or not in love with the comic book industry. And I gotta say, as a retailer, by the way, open 12 to 5. As a retailer, that's tough to hear. But I also know that a majority of my customers don't know any of this conversation. And maybe I'm exposing them to something that they really don't want to know or need to know. To all y'all that are out there, it's just some of the conversation that goes on. I have people that have come in and we've been discussing, some of the events of the last few weeks, the Ed Pisker stuff. And then I see other people talking about Mark Bright and how he's, not being paid attention to. I had a comment over on Purchase channel when he was talking up Mark Bright for 30 minutes on a video. And I wasn't really trying to suggest that a person's point of view in liking somebody is wrong. You know what I mean? But, I opened it up saying, I just doing a typical comic book debate. There's no hate here. But I don't think Mark Bright's is, all that great. I think he's really solid and a great performer, I said. But I don't think, it's hey, I like certain people and I would put them possibly higher than other people that might be technically or aesthetically or just, the masses like this person. Let's say Todd McFarlane. I might like somebody if I was going to say a Spider-Man artist that maybe is not Todd McFarlane, but a lot of people don't really think of as Ross Andrew. And in no way would I say like Ross Andru is, the superstar that a Todd McFarlane is. But but I think he's better. If I have to have one more Spider-Man story, though, I'd probably rather it be a Todd McFarlane. But that's the store owner in me talking more than the fan Yule. Also, sometimes it's hard to diverse myself from store Yule and fan Yule. But yeah, I mean the majority of Spider-Mans that I've read that I enjoy are totally Gil Kane, Gil Kane's a top guy, but even like Jim Mooney was doing a shit ton of Spider-Mans that I read, and I went back and read them, and I was like, I can't believe I read as much Jim Mooney as I did. Keith Pollard, and it's like, yeah, I like Keith Pollard. I mean, I love his Thor and everything, but it's Walt Simonson and almost Jack Kirby and Walt Simonson and almost everybody else is like a real big step down to number 2 and farther down in number 3. That 2 to 1 is a large step. And basically that was what I was getting at with the Mark Bright bit. So there was a few people that commented. It was kind of fun. What do you guys think about stuff like that? I know it's sometimes, it's a stir in the pot, but I don't know. Isn't that what comics, it's supposed to be for fun, right? We're just talking, getting in debates. I don't personally like the Superman versus Hulk. I mean, seriously, do you even have to question that?
Hello. 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 Oh. Go. Look out. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Just before I got on, Jill was showing me a Reddit post, and they were talking shit about Ultimate Spider-Man selling more than Amazing Spider-Man for the 3rd issue in a row. Spider-Man's out 2 times a month as opposed to 1 time a month. Spider-Man is always in the top 10, if not number 1 usually. This week's different though. This week is a big one. It was a good week. All right. I'm getting thrown off my game reading and thinking about what comics came out last week because I sometimes read them the week before, getting ready for everything. Erica Sullivan. Oh yeah, did comics? Yeah, how can we get our groove back? The industry. Yeah, how are we going to get people excited? By being groovy, more laid back and less uptight, less real world, more fantastic fiction can save this medium. Well, I think we see it in Transformers. More on that in a second. There are comics out there that I really, really like, but when you absorb the real world, and the real world's going to get more real in a few months as we start getting even more bombarded with whatever advertisements we're seeing. Do we see advertisements as much? Probably on YouTube. No wonder they monetized me. I'm sorry. Hopefully it's something that's palatable. And I agree. Gizmo for Prez? No, don't do that. Vote for a human. Fantinuum. I guess the assessment of comics losing their groove depends on who you ask. Some will say that comics are just getting their groove. Well, in some ways they are, but in other ways they're not. I mean, we're not seeing. Well, when I say we now, It's not necessarily me. And we'll get into that maybe if I have some time, because I have some paperwork here. I was expecting to do Wes's show one week when they some report came out where they were talking about something. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get this stuff ready. And I might even have commented on one of his videos, but I wasn't. So I've had this stuff in my bag for a while. And I looked at these numbers from last year to the year before. And it was an interesting. I mean, there was a loss of money, but there was also gains in departments that I hadn't seen before, and a major dip in one that would have easily made me even. Yikes. But you know, that's kind of what is going on. But when I say we are seeing less sales of comic books, that's not actually my store. I'm saying increased sales in comic books. You know, so I can't really always put it on the games, because I only get some of the games some of the time when it strikes my fancy, when I have people coming in interested in stuff. It's usually Magic the Gathering and the rare Pokemon set that I order enough of for a while. I just don't have the room for it, but we're working on that. But it's still not going to be filled up with games and things like that. It's just for floor space. I'm so claustrophobic the way the store is. If anybody's seen it, it's tight. I mean, I have a lot of stuff and I want to share it with everybody. I don't know if comics are getting their groove, though. I mean, just sometimes, some things, I think it's kind of like it always is. They're just like a little bit smaller of a number right now. It fluctuates. And the thing is that it's true that, you know, it's a medium that's kind of like aging itself out. Fantastical stories and comic book stories and those characters being adapted for other mediums is totally something that can keep going for a while, a long while probably, but I don't know. Maybe not. And if you put a lot of money or have to put a lot of money in, I don't know, things are so weird these days. Dwayne Muth. Hey there, you all in chat. Read indies. It's true. I have one I want to talk about in a few minutes. Jilby Pill's in the other room. Jilby Pill was telling me about a person who was saying they saw me on the YouTube and is actually a fan of me. But I think only someone that watches me when I'm on Thinking Critical. So make sure you watch me on Thinking Critical this Saturday. Wes asked me early enough to be able to let you all know about that. In fact, let me just go ahead and put channels that I like. Oh, I haven't changed any of them. So, you know, I said I was going to, or thinking about it, but I didn't end up doing that. Elithid Lore. Hey, everybody. What's the point of the clips? There's a lot of people that maybe care about baseball, and now that it's in the, the Giants are close, but, you know, they're not going to score enough runs. And the Lakers are, they're close to the Warriors, but I don't think that's a thing that's going to matter. So I wanted them to get a little bit more of watching something that they're watching on YouTube, maybe getting upset or tired of watching some Ed Piskor video, or news, or I don't know what other ones, but not any of the ones that I'm talking about. Unless maybe it's a doc video with Wes. Adam Frey says, it's always a comfort to see you all posting this Church of the Subgenius ads. I would, you know, do you think I would get a strike or a claim, or really the channel shut down for those few minutes if I, you know, play something too long? If I did some of those Church of the Subgenius videos, I'd probably get away with that, don't you think? I don't worry if they take the money. That's fine. It is padding. That's exactly what it is. It's comfort padding. That's exactly what it is. 12 to 13 is a bit much. I agree. Let's see. Nonetheless, I want to share all this junk with you. It's this warm-up thing. Personally, I love when the Amazon Women on the Moon comes up. Every once in a while, I've done other things from that. I've gotten away with it once, but then another time I didn't, so I don't. Going to be a long wrestling minute. Yes, it was. Yule. Perch is depressed. Hell, he's not that depressed. I think he's I think rightfully so. This thing has been really upsetting. We've been charting a lot of the behavior of comic book individuals more than we ever have in the old days. And partially it's because I was a kid growing up, but I've always heard John Byrne was a jerk, but now he's, I don't feel comfortable around John Byrne. So, that actually didn't happen with him, but I think he's a good target to use. He can take it, is what I'm saying. And he doesn't give a shit because he ain't listening. But I love John, and I don't care because he did great work that I love. And, Perch is Perch, just like all of us. It's like it didn't used to be that way, and now it is. But he knows people. He knows the celebrities. He knows the people that talk bullshit, and then they come up and they, I'm also nice about everything. And then, I'm a very important person. This is this and this. And I've seen him get in arguments with people I know. I've heard him talk about people that I know. What are you going to do? I don't think anything happened at Perch. He just shut down for a few minutes on the internet. That's fine because he usually has that stuff working on timed statements anyway. But like I said, he can handle it. He's okay. He's probably going to some job, fly to another country, go on a vacation maybe if he's lucky. He's working on that comic book stuff, winding that channel down, which still, if he ended it right now, would still be going on longer than those kayfabe ones. Here we go. Let's talk real for a second. Every time a cartoon is kayfabe, because I haven't unsubscribed to that channel, it pops up. I'm not watching those, but I feel bad about those too. I'm about not watching them. Did something bad happen in the comics industry? Nah, it's not that bad. If you're serious, Google Ed Pittsburgh and go from there. Yeah, it's a good one. I won't. Or just go on YouTube and watch like a million different people talking about it. I did last week. It's what are you gonna do? Nothing more recent. I think there's just a lot of conversation. There is a post by Nick Patara. Really good post, and he just kind of like sums up everything and doesn't really talk about any of the mudslinging. He's very open about everything and isn't really being like a jerk about anything. And then, some people come in, they have this conversation with him, he responds, and then there's this person that doesn't. He's coming into like, well, you're not saying this. And it's kind of like, yeah, exactly. You're coming in and saying this. And he even had a conversation with that guy for a second. Greg Smallwood came out and he did a big old post about some of that. And wow, Greg Smallwood, he said really nice stuff. And then of course, some pros and some other people come in and they're not so happy necessarily with everything that he said. And it's like, you can't even mourn out loud, which you shouldn't, really. How dare you tell me what you think, how you feel? You came to me, not me post this so everybody. Well, I guess that is what it is. If I follow somebody that what are you gonna do? Yeah. certain industry figures doubling down on Ed is bad. Well, there's a lot of people that I've noticed don't have Twitter accounts right now, or they've blocked everything, or they're over on other accounts or not on other accounts anymore. And I don't like really keeping tabs of that stuff. I just is this a person that is shutting down everything? I don't know. It's strange. R-Truth is a national treasure, and he got to tag and win with his childhood hero John Cena. Alyssa Laura, I got a little misty when Cody and Michael Cole hugged. Cody winning was really great. I thought a lot of people thought the Roman Reigns thing was going on too long, and that's understandable. But it wasn't going to end until we got to this moment, at least. And the fact that there was that time when Cody didn't do it, still a little bit in the back of our heads. And I think when it finally happened, it was like, wow, this story is over. And even if you're not fully invested in Cody, I think you're invested with the concept that, wow, this time is over. Roman Reigns is over. Vince McMahon is over. He's selling all of his stocks. He owns 5% of the company now, or whatever it is. Everybody's talking about how it's a new era. We have a new champion. We have new champions all over. The belts that are won are split. Not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, just at least something can have its own identity. And there's still a lot of that stuff, but with the brand split, even though they're going to have a draft soon, I thought it was pretty emotional when Cody won. I thought it was pretty emotional when Sami Zayn won. He couldn't beat Roman when it seemed like he could. He hasn't been able to beat Gunther before. People were upset that he was fighting some other guy and that he went over that other guy. And this is a little bit more like, oh, I think, he should have won. Smart marks, What if you're a smart to the smart marks? What are you called? But yeah, I thought Sami Zayn winning, and then Gunther, oh man, he's going to go on and do his thing. Oh my God, they've got a future right now at that in that company, and they look really, really good. Tony announcing he'll release the footage of the backstage fight is pathetic. There's roughly 0% chance it shows anything that will negatively impact Punk. Oh man, if he checks Jack Perry on that, and he's like, in that interview, if you didn't see, he said oh, I did what, I did it professional. I didn't punch him in the face. He's treating him like he's a hooker or something. Adam Frey, yes, malaise. And I was feeling better with the Skybound and Ghost Machine pumping some life back in the industry. Yeah, me too. I think that stuff is still a thing. We're going to get to Best of Last Week in just a minute. And if I forgot anything, you can let me know in chat. I've been struggling to get all this junk done and watch all these freaking wrestling programs. Let me just bring up Best of Last Week pictures right now. Let's see, where are you guys? Where are you guys? There we are. Yeah, let me know. Sometimes it's based on sales. Sometimes it's based on my reading it and thinking it's really great and something I want to highlight that people should know about. And sometimes, believe it or not, it's about covers. And this is an awesome, awesome cover. Let me go back to comments really quick. Got another big week of comics. 9 that I'm definitely getting and 2 that I'm on the fence with. Wow. Is there a bunch of shops that track these things? These companies seem to hide all their issue sales figures. And let me tell you, most stores don't really want to let you know their numbers either. Maybe someday I'll let you guys know my numbers. I'm going to let you know how much it costs then, too. It would be nice if they actually adapted comics. It's really just the characters being adapted, not the stories. It depends on the company too. Marvel has too much product to keep things coherent and get a groove. DC Comics is too busy rebooting their groove and trying to switch music types. Lane, that's a good one. Yo, Yule. Yo, Eli, you gonna come in this week? I got some X-Men stuff for you. He's doing a fibbing. I have done stuff like that before, just to let you know, but it was more on the review videos. The Ed Piskor thing has disgusted me. He's either a saint or groomed multiple children. No nuance or truth. Yeah, that's probably right. Let's see. Perch talked about ending the channel and taking a break every video, and then says we won't notice either way because he has months of videos. Yeah, he does. He really does. I see that you're skipping past me. I didn't. I stopped for you. All right, let's get back to those last week comic books. Did you like that cover? I thought that was supposed to be the last print of Transformers #1. They're not going to do another printing. And they really busted it. I don't remember who the name of this guy is, but Fantinium's totally on this guy's jock. They also did a B cover. Look at that, black and white. That is so sweet. Needless to say, I sold out. Didn't buy as many as I normally do of a first print Transformers. But this is definitely something to take a look at from last week, if you can. Indie again, sort of, if you call Image indie. Sacrificers by Rick Remender and Max Fiumura, Dave McCaig on coloring. And this series is really great. And it follows two characters, one being the daughter of Luna and the son dude, whatever. Anyway, she's her life is in peril and she's being chased down. And really, really cool. Great art, good story. Welcome back to Monthly Comics for about 6 months. Next up, we have Doctor Strange, a book that sells really well for me. I read number 13, so I haven't read this one. I like Pascal Ferry a lot. I know he's a digital artist, but he's one of the great ones. And this is a fun story. It's kind of doing the whole, what is it called? The 1980s Scarum stuff. Jesus Christ. Like the Chick Track stuff with Dungeons and Dragons. Jeez, I can't think. This is my old man brain right now. Nonetheless, they got to get Doctor Strange needs to get an adventuring party and go into this world, which is actually a book of magic that everybody that participates in this role-playing game is gone missing. So yeah, that was a good one. Got to read this one. All right, next. This is a 3-in-1, everybody. It is the debut of the Ghost Machine universe. And I sold out of, funny enough, I sold out of everything except Geiger. But don't worry, I had reorders on all of the issues, including Geiger, because I know everybody likes Gary Frank. But this one's by Jason Fabok on art and Jeff Johns on writing. In fact, all three of these books are Jeff Johns writing. This is the Gary Frank drawn Geiger. And this is the Brian Hitch drawn Redcoat. And I've heard a lot of reviews out there with some people liking one over the other and others liking the other one. This actually people like. But if I was going to say I liked anything, it was probably going to be Geiger, but I haven't read any of them yet. So this is more based on sales and hype. So get in line. And lastly, this is me trying to hype you up on something so great. The only way you don't like this comic book is if you don't like superhero related comic books, mainstream superhero related comic books. We've got Joe Casey and Dan McDade's Kneel Before Zod #4. And at the end of the 3rd issue, Zod has experienced great loss. And in this issue, he's going to respond to that and get to the bottom of how these things have transpired. And he finds out about a great betrayal in this issue and goes about, I don't know, is he setting things right? And then things happen. It's a great issue. This series has been really good, and I'm a big Joe Casey fan. Episode 199. Anyway, that's the best of last week. And I thought those were all very, very good issues. Did Ultimate Spider-Man come out last week? I can't remember. But that was also very good. I read it the week before. That's my problem. No Void Rivals. Void Rivals sells well. If it was doing more numbers, greater numbers than it is, I would definitely be highlighting it a little bit more. I've been ordering more than people ask for, so I have extras on the shelf. So I always feel like I'm kind of running a risk, especially since I'm not reading that one, so I don't know what's going on in that. I got hyped with the G.I. Joe books, whether it be Real American Hero, but the Energon ones, Duke and Cobra Commander, are excellent. So I reordered and got second prints when I needed to. And we've upped our numbers as the mini-series is coming to its conclusion. This is great stuff. But Void Rivals, I've got extra people on it. But if you compare it to the number, I guess just the G.I. Joe and the Transformers is the thing that people want to pay attention to more. All right, let's see what else. I'm digging Last Mermaid a lot. Yes. I haven't read that one yet, but I expect that one to be good. I think also when I move that to the front part of the counter where I have oversized books, it will be in a way, it takes up more room from the comic books on the shelf. So, I get less space. But it also is, I don't know, in some ways that it's different than that, rather than being its own thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's different. Oh, that should stand out. But it's different than the thing I want to see. When I go to another place in the store, I expect to see something else, which could be anything. But it shouldn't be that. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Customers, you know what I mean? Who knows what customers want? I mean, even when they tell me when they want something, they don't want it. Are you sure you want that? Did I buy that? That's how it is in the store. All right, let me bring these next issue books coming out, or next week books coming out for this part of the show that everybody's looking forward to. Let me just do this.
Why, we sell a dozen a day in this price range.
Who buys them? Tax collectors?
Even if I had to pay, it would be worth it. Just for the occasion.
What, something big going on somewhere?
It's going on right here. It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
That's right, calendar's full of them. First, I want to let you guys know about what I did on the weekend. Actually, everybody in the area that likes back issues went to the Berkeley Comic Show. That's the what is it, like every third month? They have a show where vendors get together, whether they own stores in the area or are dealers from across the country. They bring their wares. Recently, the last few few times. Bud Plant has been there with some really awesome stuff. And they just have rows and rows of comic books and back issues. And oh, there's Bud Plant. And just all sorts of stuff. Slab, not slabbed. Oh, that was the first sale I made over there when I was purchasing some stuff. Oh, look, I see Emo all the way down the end. This is great. These dudes here are at the opening. It's just a great old-fashioned comic show where you just pick up comic books. They used to have people signing, but it's different success. Look at some of these old-ass books right here. Those are crazy old. And then there's some that aren't so, but they're old anyway, because I am. Hey, there's me. I'm right there in the backpack. You can tell Fernando Valenzuela in the Dodger hat. Yeah, that was a good show. I can show you what I picked up. I found a place that was selling shit for $1 a piece, or 25 for $10. I don't know. I don't know what the hell it was. Something. I'm always like, I'm not bringing all these comics home. And I found a chunk of. Oh, I should have got it. Just joking. I don't want that. But what I do like to get are 3D comic books. And these 4 adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters were $1 a piece. And it's great. It's Don Chin, giant fan. And Ty Templeton on art. And Kurt Hathaway doing letters. I also got Mark Bodie, Miami Mice comic number 2. It's like Miami Vice, but with mice. You see? You get it? And it's got like shootouts and all sorts of shenanigans going on. So I got that also from the same place. And this is funny because up until recently, I never even knew this existed. And although I'm not personally a big fan of Gene Wolfe's novels, I've been told I should be. Innovation put out The Shadow of the Torturer, which is one of his novels, or set in his universe. And the art's pretty good. Yeah, this is 90s. It's Innovation. $1 a piece. Oh, Ted Nafee's doing the art in this? Derek Gross Sr. Oh, Derek Gross Sr. When I was trying to break into comics, that's great. Oh my God. Okay. I haven't told you guys this story yet. So Derek Gross Sr., he's the guy, if I remember correctly, that does Blood Wolf for Image Comics. And he's like a painterly type and does all this stuff. And yeah, this is cool looking. Look at that. Yeah, so when I was trying to break in, I got hooked up with this guy named Craig Storman, who did Blue Comet Press, which somewhere over here I've got some of his stuff. Probably got to spin that a little bit. And I was trying to like break into comics, and Derek Gross Sr. was the poor sap that I had to that I made suffer, that inflicted the suffering of my script on him. And he was really nice, and he took a look at it, said some stuff, and they said, you know what you might want to do, and then he pointed me to Craig Storman, which is really cool because, you know, if there's like Outlaw Comics videos on Cartoonist Kayfabe, and they talk about his stuff. And I'm like, oh, I worked with him for a minute. Anyway, he said Derek Gross Sr. Does all his work in the nude. And when he invites you over, he's going to be naked if he's working. I paid $5 for this, which is great because I know you can see the flaming carrots right here. Boom. I needed that. Thank you, CLZ. And then lastly, I got 2 Spideys that are raw right here. Right there. What is this? 162 and 157. Try and get it like that. I think this one right here needs a little bit of a pressing so that it can be more of that near mint minus it said it was. But they were nice, and I got a little bit of a break on the price because I didn't have any more money. And yeah, there you go. That's what I did. And, you know, that's kind of some of the things you might want to do rather than just buy comics. Maybe go to a show. Buy some of the stuff from a time period that you don't know about. You know, sometimes the back issues are actually cheaper than the ones that are coming out now. And you can get more of them. You know, an entire John Byrne Alpha Flight run shouldn't cost that much. And you just get one at a time. Your store should have that. At least some of them. All right. In no particular order, starting off with Edge of Spider-Verse #3. Oh yeah, I was saying that Reddit thing. They were dogging on Spider-Man, and they were saying, "Oh, they got to make an ultimate this and an ultimate that," and they're like Ultimate Paul. And it took me for a minute, you know, for a second to figure out what they're talking about because I know Joel's like, "What Ultimate Paul? What does this mean?" And I'm like, "Is this a person that mentioned something on the thread?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, that's the guy that Mary Jane's hooked up with right now." Oh my goodness, right here. Amazing Spider-Man #47. Yeah, it's got Hallows Eve and Chasm. But I gotta say, I kind of like Chasm as a villain. And this is a pretty good issue. It's a fill-in artist, but yeah, I liked it. It was good. It's not like all that other stuff that so tie-in heavy or event driven. Just a a comic book. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees #5, the indie hit from IDW. IDW has all these hits, and recently they made money, but for the most part they're losing money. But they have a couple good books right now, and this seems to be one of them. Fantastic Four #19. I have fallen off reading this for a while now, probably about 3 months. And it's not because I didn't like it, it's just because I was pretty much done reading Fantastic Four right now. And I guess the kids came back, so there is a tonal shift in the comic, and I haven't experienced it yet. Maybe this will be the one. Cool cover. Incredible Hulk #11, the comic book that everybody seems to hate, just because Nick Klein's not doing the art. And it feels like when people maybe back in the day would have said Tony Salmons is a bad artist because his stuff doesn't look like it's supposed to look, or it's not in the same vein. I don't know. I think this guy, this Danny Earls or whatever his name is really, really good. And I really appreciate the story. I like little Louisiana stories where they're doing the horror stuff. It just, it's cool to me. It's something I'm down with. I can't get enough of the Louisiana horror stories. But, yeah, I dig this one. This is like my favorite Hulk storyline right now. But I've even seen guys that are like, pull this for me. But this art isn't as good as Nick Klein. At least that's what people feel. Of course, this is a Nick Klein cover. Invincible Iron Man #17. I am getting some of the back issues back in stock. I can't do this. I just got to shut it off for symmetry. This is a I don't know. It's a book that sells out. I haven't been reading it for a couple issues. I kind of feel like, X-Men and these other miniseries are enough for me, but I do sell this book. So Know that I have it and it's in, but it's going to sell out. Dungeons and Dragons, the thief of many things. There's Jim Zub in here, and I think he's hand-holding some other writer. Anyway, I like D&D and IDW. Look at them. Oh, no, this is Dark Horse. No, it's IDW. I'm so stupid. Ms. Marvel, Mutant Menace. Well, you can tell she's a mutant. She's fighting Mojo. Number 2. Oh yeah, it's written by the woman who plays the young woman who plays Ms. Marvel in the movies. Napalm Lullaby. Wow, I really like comics that aren't Marvel and DC, but are professionally written and drawn, not unlike Sacrificers, written by Rick Remender. Why, you might try Napalm Lullaby by Rick Remender and Ben Gall. Great art. And I got to say, the first issue was kind of head trippy, but it looked really good. So if you're down with that kind of thing, you should check this out. Rat City #1. Yeah, there's another Spawn comic book coming out right now. I imagine there's going to be more of these. I kind of skipped ahead. You follow this team that gets messed up in this this mission that they're in, and then there's like decapitations and stuff, and or dismemberments, I mean, and then there's like this techno Spawn bit. I don't know. I couldn't do it because it was Spawn. You know, it's just too much for me. Resurrection of Magneto #4. Did anybody else ever used to call it Magneto? I'm not reading it. Thundercats #3. Chitara. I'm not reading it. I'm selling it though. Transformers #7. Now that's a book I sell. I hope it's not just because Daniel Warren Johnson is doing the art, because he isn't anymore. But I think Jorge Corona should be pretty good, and Johnson is writing it, and there is a compelling story that's been going on. Holy cow, did you read the 6th issue? There was so much stuff, and it reminded me so much of the animated movie. Yeah, really cool. Johnson knows what's going on. All right, Ultimate X-Men #2. I just read this. Written and drawn by Peach Momoko. And we're introduced to this character, and more stuff is being revealed to us slowly. We get a big confrontation with, I guess, the villain. And yeah, good issue. I liked it. Pick it up. I like that cover. All right, so this might be a little late if you're coming into the store, because I haven't got my diamond order yet. Tony Fleece is writing another book called Uncanny Valley. Oh, look at all those characters. You got a Yosemite Sam-like guy. What's up with those crows? Are they like supposed to be... Oh, no, there's a bunch of crows. Maybe they're coming from that dude in the back. Yeah, I don't know. It could be interesting. We'll see. Boom. Wolverine #40. It's about time we got some Wolverines in this biatch. Action Comics 1064, the beginning of House of Brainiac. I already read this issue. That is true. You can look at this cover and say, oh my God, there is so many different Lobos. It is 100% true. There's a bunch of Lobos in this book. Beginning of the storyline written by Joshua Williamson. Really, really good art by, I think it's Rafa Sandoval. I highly recommend picking this issue up if you dig Superman, or maybe like, you know, not or title line events rather than universe line events. He's not working with a million different characters, even though you see a lot of Lobos right now. Anyway, I like it. Batman First Night #2 by Dan Jurgens and Mike Perkins. Why, this sold out, so I expect you all to come back in and get it again, even though you didn't tell me to do so, or else I'll be sitting on these, and I know you don't want me to do that. By all accounts, it was pretty good. Batman Dylan Dog #2. I sold this pretty well. It's like what is he, like an Italian private eye, Dylan Dog? I remember like when I worked at Comic Relief and was over on University especially, we would have a lot of Euros come in and they would say like, is there any Dylan Dog? No, Dylan Dog's out of print. The last persons to do that were Dark Horse, and that was like 94 or something like that. And even our store had some, but not all of them. So it's just a big old tease. Anyway, Batman Dylan Dog. Suicide Squad Dream Team. It's Dreamer's team, but she's back where she belongs, and Harley's up where she belongs. Everybody takes a back seat at Harley. In fact, I don't even think I need to be in this book anymore, she should say. Suicide Squad Dream Team, 2 of 4. Green Lantern #10. There's a House of Brainiac tie-in story called Guy's Bogus Lobo Adventure. So that's a reason you might want to pick this up. You should also want to pick this up because it's a really darn good book. Jeremy Adams, who did The Flash, not the one that's going on now, but the one before that, and Harmonico is on art, and I like Harmonico a lot. Harmonico was the fill-in artist or the miniseries artist of Green Lantern when it was Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. And yeah, he's really good. And so is the series. I like it a lot. Yeah, this is the last one. Sinister Sons #3. Tomasi and I don't know, Georgiev. I like the first issue, but I didn't read the second. But there's something about the first issue that actually ties into Kneel Before Zod, #4 especially. So if you are thinking that this is going to be exactly like the Super Sons, it's kind of not. But yeah, there you go. That's New Comic Book Day. It's hard talking about things I haven't really read yet. I only read the first issue. There's so much junk to read, and even when it's good, it takes forever, you know what I mean? Plus, I'm trying to read this book, watch this baseball game, pay attention to this basketball for you so you don't have to. And then I'm getting in. Oh, hold on. That Thief of Many Things is $10. It sure is, but it's thick. It's a big old thick book. LOL. Does his work in the nude. I guess Yule didn't want to work in comics that badly. Well, funny enough, I didn't think it was necessarily weird, other than I didn't think it was like that way weird. But it wasn't something I was really looking forward to, having to, not that I had to. It wouldn't be something I'd be looking forward to if, I guess I would like to know up front beforehand. But I mean, these guys are like hippies, you know what I mean? I went over to Craig Storman's house, and this was like in Long Beach. And I think it was really his mom's house. And he has, think of him more like the grandfather in that vampire movie, Jill. Lost Boys. I think the grandfather with the hair. And he rolled this joint and he was passing it around. And I mean, it was a pinner. It was like this toothpick right here. I think I'm getting more high trying to hit this joint, Yeah, that's right. Ultimate Paul. That was Craig Storman. He told us, this is a Craig Storman show. He's dead now, so I can say anything I want. He told us that he turned down the chore, what we now consider an honor to do the Star Wars poster for the movie. So, like, you know, I couldn't believe that. And I mean, you know, it's just I couldn't see, looking at his comic books, you know, his art and what he did, and thinking like, oh, this is going to be the poster instead of the poster that we know for Star Wars, you know, Luke Skywalker with the lightsaber. And I kind of call bullshit on it, but at the same time, you know, that's his story, and maybe he knew people. Dwayne Moose says, I read Transformers 1 through 6. Great story arc. Very good. Also, comics people are wild. Yeah, they're wild, man. Let me tell you. I think people are wild. And I think there's always people that are oversensitive about things. And there's extremes. For whatever reason, it just feels like it's more now than ever before. But I had heard, I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson or somebody like that, talking about flat earthers. There's not any more flat earthers now than ever before. It's the same amount. It's just we hear them now, you know. And you're like, oh, I believe in flat earth. Exactly. There you go. There's not any more. There's not any more nutbags that like this thing than other things. And I don't think we're necessarily going to radicalize people. I mean, it can happen. I mean, there are people that get radicalized. I mean, there's always cults, right? And stuff. But we haven't had a real good cult death in a long time. You know. I'll move on from that. The Hollow Earth versus the Flat Earther war gets heated. That would be great, man. I think that would be. Now that I would like to sit back and watch. So I love Flaming Carrot, and one of the first issues I read, I already have back here, is when they get imprisoned by these Martians, these like stone-faced Martians, and there's like two encampments of people. So they all the people that got imprisoned by these Martians in this small town were at a comic book, a sci-fi fantasy convention. And so basically it's all these Star Trek fans, these Trekkers, and it's all these Doctor Who fans. And the Star Trek fans and the Doctor Who fans hate each other. and Flaming Carrot has to like get these fools together. I like this stuff a lot. Oh, here we go. Speaking of Flaming Carrot, Eric Breen. Now, how do you explain all the people who have fallen off the face of the earth? Well, I mean, yeah, totally. It's brownie shaped. It's shaped like an empty Stromboli. Hollow flat expanding earth. LOL if you're into Neil Adams. Neil Adams would say, talking about weird people in comics, Neil Adams had this whole thing about, what was it, like gravity, or it was something about gravity or the earth, like you said, expanding. And I never heard him talk about that. I've only heard other people talk to me about that. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. But he came and signed at my store back in the old days. And Neil Adams was awesome. I wasn't sure if we could draw a crowd so last minute. And this guy knows how to work a room of 1 or 100. And it's timely. If there isn't anybody, he's talking and telling this story. He knows exactly which ones he's gonna go to. He can pull it out of the Rolodex in his head. You know, you ask him a question, he goes back to one of those old ass Carney stories of his and stuff like that. Or, oh, you know, back in the day when I did Dr. whatever, I can't think of what it was right now. You know, for news strips, I was getting paid 30 cents an hour, you know. He's just like Rolodex. He's really, really great, and I love his art. And he might be a nutbag, but there you go. Fantino says something about Frank Miller. Frank Miller, people are like, yeah, whatever. Supposedly he was. Is this the show to say it? Yeah, there you go. I mean, foibles, right? But it wasn't like a big thing. And not only that, it was like the time. And if you look at things now, or then now, under now's lens, it looks worse than it is, you know? But do we always have to? I mean, can't we look at it in 10 years from now's lens? You know, maybe 25? You know, maybe I don't know, be a futurist. Dr. Kildare. Was it Dr. Kildare? Was that what it was? The comic strip? Hey, I cherished my experiences. Had a great time with Neil and got yelled at by Miller. Yeah, you did. Oh, Ben Casey. That's the one. Good job. All right, good cover. Oh, man, this is going swimmingly. I think there's lots of things that you can do to get rid of this malaise, and it might feel bad now, but we'll get over it. I don't think, remember Never Forget? I mean, we talked about that last week, 9/11, you know, being emotionally, I'm never going to listen to music again. You know, thankfully, the day the music died was made. That's when music died. But it came back, man. And then it went away, and then it comes back. And it usually is, you know, a few years after it does. There's always people doing stuff. And we'll catch up. Maybe we'll just go and binge something right now. I know you want to do that. I know. Just don't do ice cream. Especially if you're old. Oh, it's horrible. But yeah, I go to a show. Pick up a back issue. Find something that you like and try and get all of it within your area and then spread out. And if you don't have that, go online. Try and get it cheap. It's fun. Call a comic store. Maybe they have it. I don't have any flaming carrots for you. But I got a ton of other stuff. I was just looking at some really, really good things I have to start bringing out. And it's starting to get better weather, right? It's nice. Baseball's going right now. It's great. Great time. Great time. There's great comics that are coming out. You just got to know where to look for them. All right. I'm going to hit you guys up on the other side. All right. It's almost the end of the show. You guys want me to read from a book someday? I got a short story right here. It would take like 5 minutes to read it, maybe 7. But I'm really... It's kind of like along the theme. If you're not feeling it right now, do something that you feel. Buy a kite. Hit a music store up. Buy a CD. Can you use CDs? Do you have a CD player still? You know, I think retail therapy can work. And it doesn't have to be the thing that you're upset with right now. There's always been icky things about everything. And I think there always will be. I mean, it's kind of nature, right? It's just the way it is. But we try and do better. And, we should also understand. Thank you to everybody that helps me out with my Patreon. I lost a subscriber, so we got an open spot right now, and you could be on the list right now. We did a video that we put up that only channel subscribers to this, not subscribers like you, but joiners, people that Lane Kramer, you know what I mean, put some money in. And then there's a video. I've got another one I'm working on, but I had some crazy work on Mondays, my off day, to edit stuff. And next Monday, we're going to be doing some rearranging of the store for the new look so that we can have it all done by not only new comic book day on Wednesday, but free comic book day the first Saturday in May. Plus taxes are supposed to be sent in. I think I got all that stuff ready, but I have to ask my bookkeeper about that and all that other stuff. So I got another video ready to go. It's like a two-parter, so it'll be part 3 will be on the YouTube channel for everybody to see. And then part 4 will be for paid Patreon and joiners to the channel. You can go backstage. And I'm thinking about starting to private some of the videos and maybe just get rid of some of them altogether. Or maybe just put them all backstage, but they're just so long. And I've thought about every day going through and looking at one and if it was worthwhile keeping it. But that just sounds like such a daunting task. I know people do those kind of things. And I even had a letter where somebody was telling me that they've gone back and watched things. Holy shit. I feel so bad for you. I mean, it's hardly as polished as it is right now. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Patreon members, we started slightly before COVID hit, but it really mattered once COVID started up, and we got a lot of people that weren't able to come in and get comics. Comics weren't being put out anyway. Some people moved away. Some people liked the show. Some people are just, I got pity money. If you got pity money, let me know. We don't have to go through Patreon. And I have some comics I could sell you. More than anything, I'm not asking for money. I'm saying, come on into my comic shop and buy something. But if you can't or don't want to because you got so much stuff, how could I ever possibly have another magic card in my house? I mean, it's just gonna fall all over me. All this stuff. Yeah, we got Patreon. And, the best way to be seen, because you don't want to give a tip and not be seen like this fool.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh?
Paisanos! 650 your change.
Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio! Si! Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrona!
All right, let me go to chat really quick. Only one more. All right, let's see here. Wait, Haunted Tank. Sam Glanzman. What's that in reference to? I remember Haunted Tank. Was that the one where it was the tank that was haunted by the Confederate soldier? And obviously there's going to be a black guy in the tank. I think that might be the one you're talking about. Oh, Adam, please. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. Yikes. Airport parking lots. And Dwayne says, yeah. Yeah, I have a customer, and after hours, sometimes we're downstairs talking. And this one customer, I'm not going to get into specifics. This one customer has an idea, and he's going into it and telling me about stuff, and we're all talking about it. And then eventually I'm like, maybe you shouldn't tell me so much because we don't want that to be out in the world or anything like that. But I gotta let you know, there's elements of this that remind me of The Haunted Tank. And I'm talking specifically about that one. And that one was a hilarious book. I'm sure the people these days would be like, oh, how could they possibly write a comic like that? But it was Vertigo and nobody gave a shit. You cheap bastards are going to have to tip a bit more now to offset that new minimum wage of $20 an hour, LOL. Buddy, I don't need to pay for me. Oh, shoot. The tank was haunted by Jeb Stewart. All right, excellent. I do love my KFC, but I don't eat KFC if I can help it. Maybe every once a year, twice a year, something like that. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We're going to talk next week about all sorts of new comics and things coming out. Hopefully everything's a little bit more calm and we feel better about things. It's okay. I mean, I could be reading a short story to you instead. And talk to you next week. Bye.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. They're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish-free complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona kept trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn, but she left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous Sunset Sam.